Nick.
Hello, Dominic.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. What about you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I have to say thanks, Nick, for joining us again today from beautiful Ukraine.
Thank you, Dominic. It's my pleasure.
What our listeners don't know is that we already did this interview yesterday, and I forgot to hit record.
It's fun. I enjoy being a celebrity in Canada.
So we had a great conversation, which we're going to rehave today. So thanks very much, Nick. Hey, before we get started, I just want to let everybody know that we're talking about the global economy and how to make it work for you in your woodworking shop. Nick's an expert at that, and he is the secret that a lot of people don't know about. Nick, can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
Okay, so my name is Nick Markuta. I'm working at RKCGI team. I'm client manager, and we are a large company. We deliver professional outsource 3D rendering and millwork shop drawing services. We are located in Ukraine, but we work from clients from pretty much all over the world. We have more than 300 specialists in our offices in Ukraine. So around 250 are into professional 3D rendering service, and around 50 specialists specialize in accurate shop drawings for cabinetry manufacturers.
I'm amazed, Nick. You have a team of 300 people that do 3D renderings for millwork and cabinetry companies.
Yes. So, like, our main service is 3D modeling and 3D rendering. Yeah, but we're also professionals in doing drawings in AutoCAD. So it's also a large part of workflow, and it's also thing, and it's also work that can be outsourced for cabinetry makers.
Right. It's such an interesting find. You know, I found you through it's weird. There was a general contractor who told me about you. I've got people listening to this podcast that I don't necessarily think are listening to the podcast. I thought it was all just cabinet makers and joiners and finishers and architecture millworkers, but really it's business owners in the trades industry. And so one of them suggested that I look you guys up, and I did, and here we are. And I didn't think when he made the intro that you guys were as big as you are. I thought you might be maybe a 5-man shop. You've got 300 people?
Yeah, so it's specifics of nowadays economy. So internet connection erases the barriers, and we have the right labor and we have the right expertise. So actually, Ukraine is not the best place for young engineers and 3D modelers to start their career on the internal market, but we can provide our services for other countries with stronger economies, and we have a value due to the difference of exchange rate. And this is how it works nowadays. So we enjoy what we do, and we hope that it's the right service to provide.
Well, I mean, I've heard from other people that you guys do fantastic work, and you're right. The global economy even reaches into something as so, you know, everything that our customers, the listeners here make, somebody touches in their shop. And so it'd be difficult to think how the global economy can impact that. But for those of you listening who've been wondering why some of your competitors are generating 3D drawings, who are maybe still beating you on price and adding that extra layer of value, and wondering how it happened, we have talked in the past on this podcast about outsourcing, offshore consultants, offshore contractors. And Nick at RKCGI is one of those companies. So let's put this all in a little bit of context. Let's just use a small kitchen as an example. Maybe define for me what a small kitchen means to you, and then tell us how many hours that would take if I was a business owner to have that turned around back in my shop as drawings.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for us, a small kitchen looks like a project where we can do two tasks. So first of all, we can make a prototype of this kitchen, a photorealistic 3D rendering to show how it would actually look like when implemented. So clients may vary different materials, textures, applying different kind of elements like doors and so on. And once the designer, the manufacturer, and the client have approval, so the production starts. And for production, we can provide AutoCAD millwork drawings. So it's something that cabinetry makers typically do themselves, but they can cut costs and save their time, concentrate on business development, and leave this job for us. For example, for professional 3D modeling and photorealistic image, the rate is $20 per hour. For AutoCAD work, we have much more specialists in Ukraine, and the rate is $12 per hour. So price-wise, I would say making a 3D model takes around maybe 12 hours for 3D model and photorealistic rendering.
Right.
So if someone needs a presentation from the images, with the images, it's like maybe $240 for a set of 2 images in a small kitchen. So, and once the owner of millwork shop, of cabinetry shop, has approval from his clients, he needs to manufacture this kitchen. And I would say that we would be more than happy to provide professional shop drawings to actually do this kitchen. So it means we need to show all the elements, sections, right, to have it produced. So actually it might take maybe price-wise around $400 for maybe $500 for a set of shop drawings for a small kitchen.
Right, but that's labor that we don't have to do on our side here. We can just offshore it and have that work done while we're doing other work. I've seen some of your work. I mean, you guys, it's more than just a 3D realistic drawing. I mean, you put fruit bowls on the counter and plants in the corner and a carpet, like what I would call context. You add that livability context to these photos. It's incredible. And I imagine that helps people make the buying decision on the other side.
Yes, it's called approach working with the libraries. So we have purchased various libraries. We have more than 40,000 different elements of decor and additional items to put in just to make the image more selling and like rich with detail where needed. So actually, we can do not only kitchen, but create the atmosphere as if someone is already living there and how this kitchen can be used.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing use of technology that really helps our listeners help their clients make the decision. You know, when we first started talking about this, Nick, because we did a pre-interview, and of course we had yesterday's interview, but I was thinking that the best application for this would be with the more residentially focused cabinet makers. But then we got to talking about how architectural millworkers could use this 3D rendering as part of their marketing on their websites. Taking existing plans and creating a 3D model to put on their website, even though the project's already built, just to show people who need to see it visually how it works.
Yes, not only on websites, but on social media as well. So many companies maintain Instagram channels. So we have clients who do that. So not only imagery, but also animation for Instagram stories, which is quite popular now, can be also created by us. So 3D Max software also allows to make moving renders. So just animations, videos, where we can see movement activity, and it attracts more attention in some cases than just still images. So not only still images, but animation is also a product that we can do. And not only websites, so also social networks is something that manufacturers use for their marketing.
So you can, Nick, you can show the drawers opening or the cabinet doors opening and closing. That's what you mean by animation?
Exactly. So as long as we already created the scene for still images, we can use same still, same scene, just make enough frames and record the animation, so we can do that with 3D Max. So not only open and close the cabinet doors, but also we can make creative stuff like having different materials applied over there, or having various elements of one cabinet flying and assembled in the air, so we can show the structure of different parts. And so when someone goes to supermarket, he sees a furniture element from the outside, but we can also show interior parts of furniture animated. So
I could see that being very valuable, especially for a high-end furniture maker or somebody making something like a Murphy bed, you know, where movement is needed to understand the use of the product, right?
Yeah.
How does the Murphy bed come down? How does that then impact the room? There's Murphy beds now that have desks built right into them. So you can, while the Murphy bed is up, the desk portion can come down, and then you put the desk back up, and then you pull the whole Murphy bed down. I think for a lot of people that are buying that kind of product, knowing how that product interacts is really important to making that sale.
Yes, and animation shows the value of Murphy bed. It means, so it saves your square meters of your apartment, and animation can show exactly the right value of the product. So all these things like animations, whereas still images, can be made in 3D Max. So it's one software package. So also there is various approach for rendering. Like we prefer to render with V-Ray, so it's another application for 3D Max. And with 3D Max and V-Ray gives the most realistic result. And we can make a video as if it's a real video captured with the camera.
Oh, so you can show me moving, not just the drawers opening, but you can show me moving as if I was walking through the
yeah. Yes. So, as long as we create this environment in virtual reality in 3D Max, we can show as if from the eye view level, as if someone is going through. It's popular for developers and architects to sell the real estate, because they try to attract investment before they even start building a house. And this approach is same for Ukraine, for US. So this is how the market works, and this is especially important just to make the right advertising campaign and to show that the building will be
how it looks and how you what it'll look like when it's finished.
Yes.
So let me go back for a second, Nick. What's the this industry of creating 3D renderings offshore in the Ukraine? Is it a growing trend? Is it holding flat? Is it declining? Tell me about the overall, the global perspective on 3D renderings as used by mill workers around the world.
Well, I would definitely say that it's a growing trend. So like 3 years ago, we were a company of 60 people. Now we are more than 300 people. We completed a few dozens of thousands of different tasks during the last year. So I would even say the market is growing at an extraordinary pace. So the more and more companies come to understanding that it's an opportunity to somehow cut the cost and cut the marketing budget to be more competitive.
Right.
And we significantly improved the communication. We developed the CRM system for our clients to have feeling as if working at the same desk. So on our experience, I would say we definitely see the growth.
Right.
Generally, the technology has been improved, and for sure, like the future of the next decade will show us more advanced approach. Instead of looking for just still images, we will have headsets and our our mobile phones as remote control tools.
So like a virtual reality. So you think the future of 3D modeling is to move to a virtual reality headset?
Yeah, so the market of still images will also survive, but because either way, web pages, social networks, so there is demand for still images and there is demand for just animation. But there is extremely high potential in virtual reality and augmented reality demand. So virtual reality demand is environment where you put on the headset and you walk through the virtual object as if it's already built. So it's possible. There are companies who give opportunity to try this experience, but still it's not that much realistic yet as still images. But the technology is being improved and it's going to be more and more realistic. So it's virtual reality. Augmented reality is another growing market, where you can take your cell phone camera, you can just look at your room through your cell phone and try on various furniture items and
really?
see how. Yes, and if you go to App Store or to Play Market, you will find a dozen of apps who already offer this kind of
reality
approach. Yeah, it's augmented reality. So you're thinking what kind of armchair to buy. So you can download augmented reality app and you can see how this one fits or how that one fits and how do they actually look. So the only difference is not that much realistic as our still imagery yet.
Of course, right.
But we already do geometry and we already do 3D modeling for such companies who develop the application. So
that is just insane. So some of the people listening right now are doing no 3D modeling. Some of the people listening do 3D modeling in-house or locally, and then they're not taking advantage of global economies of scale and currencies. And then the people that are doing 3D modeling might not realize that virtual reality is coming. And then on top of that, you just said augmented reality is already here.
Yes.
I gotta catch up, man. I'm way behind.
So for those who are interested, can Google. So I will not give, I will not tell any brands of the application, but some of them can be already downloaded and tried.
Yeah.
I hope that there will be a good startup company who will raise good funds on their first IPO, and they will say, hey guys, we have a lot of furniture manufacturers working with us. We have a popular app. We need a team who will do all the 3D modeling, and here we go. We will say, we can do it for you.
Always the marketer, Nick. Always.
Yeah. If someone is going to launch this kind of business, so they will know that there is a huge team in Ukraine, RKCGI, who are willing to do the modeling work.
Ready to go. Which city are you in there?
It's Kyiv, capital of Ukraine.
Oh, so, beautiful. Nice.
Yeah, we have branches in 5 cities, but Kyiv office is the largest. We have like 150 people here.
Where do your clients come from?
So I would say majority of our clients are US clients and Canadian clients.
Okay.
So
And do you deal with Australia? Do you deal with the Middle East? Do you deal with?
Yes, we deal with Australia. So I would say Australia is not in most responsive time zone because we have day shift and evening shift. We try to be close to our customers and to maintain instant communication. Yes, for Australians, like sometimes replies will take few hours, but even if we don't think of response time, Australia is just like 18 million market of population.
Yeah,
so we do have clients from there, but most of the clients are USA and Canada. Then a significant part from Europe and Middle East, and from Asia and Australia, like minor part of clients.
Wonderful. So it's just the scope of this, the size of this thing that you do, I think is blowing a lot of us away. We didn't know that this existed in the first place. So let's think for a second about somebody listening to this who's never used a service like yours before. What would I need to send you in order to get back 3D rendered drawings? What do you need from me, the manufacturer?
So first of all, I should mention that everything that we do is based on the accurate size. So if we do 3D rendering, we need to know the dimensions of the kitchen, at least floor plan, ceiling height, or elevations. So it's like mandatory information. And if we need to model particular cabinetry, then drawings for this cabinetry. So speaking about the file formats, it's preferable to have CAD files. But if it's just a sketch drawn by hand, as long as it has measurements, we can take it and just put in the measurements when do the modeling, and it would be enough. I understand that some clients are always in a rush and they start with giving us floor plans. We say, okay, so but what about ceiling height? Shall we do it on our own discretion? Actually, no. So the client gives out the ceiling height. Communication matters, and how tight is the approach also matters. We created our website, archivizer.com, for our clients to have a feeling as if we work on the same desk. So clients can log in, create an account, put project, and see the team who is working for them. Actually, for example, my responsibility is to start new cooperations. So I communicate with people on Facebook, on LinkedIn. So someone can contact me. My name is Nick Markuta. Depending on the kind of task, I will advise further. If it's a project for drawing, I will assign the right project manager to do the drawings. If it's a project for 3D visualization interior, I will assign the project manager who is experienced in interiors. If it's design development, or if it's large commercial exterior building with streets and cars, I will assign the right project manager. So the first step is to communicate with client manager. It's either me or someone from my colleagues. So we have a dozen of people who is responsible for making clients happy for the first contact. So a person can drop me a file on LinkedIn. I would advise right away on the missing information, and I would say, please create an account in our CRM. And the right project manager, I already see which kind of task is that, and the right project manager will be assigned to once you create an account. So and the person is in the system, then the project manager starts playing his role and gives advice on the
Right.
a time frame. I can make the cost estimation myself, but sometimes clients change their mind, add additional scope to the project, reduce scope.
That happens in all trades. Yeah, that always happens.
So once the project is already started, the project manager is responsible for extra scope, for revisions, for making changes, and so.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys have figured out a system that you have a project for every job or for every account. There's a project manager, and then you keep the same people on. You know, let's say it's my woodwork shop. I don't have a woodwork shop, but let's say it is my shop. Do I always get the same account manager?
Well, it's my responsibility to assign the right project manager. So I deal with many clients, and I try to assign the same people for the work to be done consistently. And you know, we manage tasks. There is a lot of work coming, and sometimes clients may have a project once in a year or once in a few months. It's okay, and someone can write me on LinkedIn or Facebook, or give me a call, or write on WhatsApp. Hey Nick, I have another project. Is Dima is available? I would say actually Dima is busy with something else, but we have another guy, Vlad, and I will assign him, but I will make sure it will be consistent approach. And if you do, like the previous image and the current image are showed on one web page, they will look consistently with the same light.
Okay. So we get the same output of imagery that we would expect from the last time we did the job.
Yes, since you're working with one company, Archivisor, we have our clients' profiles, and the new team assigned, I will put a note that this client already worked with us, so he's just new for this new team, and they will see the history of previous tasks, and based and logically they will understand that the images should be consistent.
So let me, you made me think of something, and we'll start to wind down here now, but one of the questions I have is, we've got a client and we show them their kitchen, and I'm supplying the cabinetry, and maybe I've got the countertops are another part, but we're looking at different countertop options for coloring or flooring, and I'm not supplying flooring. Can you change out the color of the countertops and even if I'm going from marble to quartz to silestone, and the same with flooring, can you guys swap those out easily, or is that difficult?
Well, this is exactly what we are requested to do and what we do. So the advantage of CGI, if we compare it to photography, it's adjustability, and we can adjust different textures and materials and make a batch of images with all the possible variants for the end customer to make the choice.
Neat.
So the process is to create a 3D model, then to assign textures, to make realistic lighting, to render, to give images, animation, whatever it is. And then if we need additional textures and materials, we don't need to do it once again. We just need to remove the previous material from the countertop and to apply a new one.
So it's like a skin. You just change the color and, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to draw in Photoshop. Sometimes, like maybe an hour of work needed or a few hours of work needed. The materials and the resolution of the image. So we understand the larger print size, the higher resolution needed. So if it's something that should be on a large board and people should come close and look into the quality of marble, we need to make 20,000 resolution, and making texture for this resolution does take time. So
right.
We don't need to have it pixelated, but either way, making new textures is not complicated approach. So as long as geometry is ready, so it's a matter of just re-rendering of new image and some work for the texture.
Now, Nick, some people might not be familiar with the technical side of I think you said if I send you plans, you're going to send me this file back. But this is a video file. How big is this thing computer-wise? Like, will I be able to play it on my phone? Will I be able to play it off my computer? And is it going to take a huge chunk of memory off my web page? How big are these files?
They're not big, so it's just regular images. If we can adjust the size of the actual image, if the purpose is just to show it on the web page, so absolutely no problem. The images can go through emails, just few megabytes is okay.
Okay, so it's not going to be I'm not getting a huge movie file that's going to slow down my computer.
No, for sure, no. If it's not a computer from the 90s, so.
It might be, you never know. You never know.
Yeah. The first MacBook, you know.
the first MacBook when they were white, yeah, and weighed 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Nick, I mean, this is just amazing to me. Some of the things I learned just today and in our previous conversations blows me away, because I knew that this existed as an industry, using offshore contractors, really skilled people all around the world to reduce our costs and free up, our teams so that they can do what they do. And then we have other teams working, in parallel. It just blows me away. So thanks very much for sharing this with us today. The people listening might want to get in touch with you and find out more about how this works. How do they do that?
Yeah, thank you for this interview. I enjoy doing that. So I would say, it's not difficult to outsource. It's quite easy approach. Some people think that the communication would be a problem. Actually, it wouldn't. So it's been improved with us and with any competitors on this market. So we try to get these orders, and we do the right communication in WhatsApp, in Skype, in social networks. So this is exactly what we do. There is, I think there is no difficulty if the end result matters. So it makes no difficulty whether the person is in Canada or in Ukraine.
Yeah, right. Well, we've got technology to use now. Yeah. Do you use Slack, Skype? What are the tools you use to talk back and forth with clients? Email, I guess, is a given.
The main tool is our system, archivizer.com, because we created it, and we have we have our IT guys who do the system improvement. The advantage is having libraries, because when client is trying to visualize something, and when it's, for example, interior designer, he knows the furniture items he'd like to have, and he can just go to our library and select the right furniture and decor to put into his scene and to have in his rendering. Same about textures, same about, for example, environment for exteriors. He can see our other exteriors and put in the right fences and trees.
Yeah.
So then it's like more, for most of our clients, it's more convenient to work through archivizer.com.
Sure.
But some huge companies just got used to work in Slack. We have no problem working in Slack. So our project managers just duplicate the information from Slack to Archivizer. Yes, for us to have our internal records, so clients can get back to us in a few years, and we know where everything is saved. Skype is good for instant communications. Right. So, and especially for client managers. So guys like myself communicate in Skype, LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp. So whenever there is something urgent and something needs to be arranged, maybe another project manager added, or maybe more artists from different teams, something extraordinary. So clients can contact me on Skype, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I can organize. So as long as the work is going according to the plan, so clients deal with project managers in Archivizer, or project managers go to their Slacks, Asanas, or other CRMs.
Asana, that's the one I forgot about. Yeah, I don't use
Asana. Yeah, it's popular. But again, Asana is almost the same as Archivizer, but Archivizer has the scenes
and the libraries in it. I guess what I'm hearing from you is that you have multiple ways to communicate to clients, which is great. Let's draw this to a close now. How do people get in touch with you from here now if they have questions about what you do there?
Okay, so I will be happy to answer any questions. So it's my job, and it's something that I definitely enjoy doing. So whatever is more convenient. My LinkedIn page is Nick Markuta, and they can find me in the list of your friends.
That's right.
On Facebook, I'm Nick Markuta as well. My email is n.markuta@archivizer.com. So our Archivizer is ARCHIVIZER, archivizer.com. So it's complicated to spell email, so social networks.
That's okay. I've got your email address here on WhatsApp because you and I, organizing the appointments and stuff, we've been doing it through there. I'll do, Nick, is of course, as you said, if people are already linked to me, most listeners are linked to me already. So if you look for Nick Markuta, and his last name is spelled M-A-R-K-U-T-A, then you'll see that we're all linked, and that's the right Nick Markuta. Apologies to any other Nick Markutas in the world, but this is the one we're talking to. And then on the website, which is cabinetmakerprofitsystem.com, if you look under the podcast, you'll see show notes for this episode. And if you go into that, you'll see links to Nick's email address and anything relevant from our talk, including an entire transcript of this conversation, which is great. People like that. Print it off. Just one more time, though, let me read out the email address for people who are waiting with pen in hand or waiting to type it in. It's Nick Markuta. You can be reached at n.markuta@archivizer.com. Here's the spelling. n.markuta at archivizer.com. So that's how to get in touch with Nick. And if you get stuck, shoot me a note and I'll put you guys in touch, and you can run off in your merry way doing whatever you need to do. Nick, thanks to you and your team for all your patience. This is our second interview, and I appreciate you rescheduling with me.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy answering questions. So whoever has any questions to me, I will be glad to advise further. So
all right. Well, thank you, Nick. Have a great day. And thanks, everybody, for listening in to cabinetmakerprofitsystem.com podcast. And also, increasingly, thanks to all of you who are referring your friends from outside the cabinet making industry to listen to this, because it's about business. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you all in the next episode. See you, Nick.
Yeah, see you.